Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the SHICHIDA Shining Stars Podcast, a podcast where we address all the questions parents have about early childhood education. My name is Mr. Dan, and with me today is a very special guest. She is a SHICHIDA alumnus, one of the very first graduates of SHICHIDA Australia. She also happens to be the daughter of Jacqueline Soon, the Centre Manager of SHICHIDA's High Point campus, who we spoke to in last week's episode. Welcome to the show, Jacqueline. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hello.
Hi. Do you prefer Jackie or Jacqueline's okay?
Jacqueline, Jax is also good.
Jax, okay.
Yeah.
Can I call you Jax then?
Yeah.
Thank you. So Jax is here today to talk to us about her experience at SHICHIDA. So when did you start attending SHICHIDA classes?
I might have to ask my parents for clarification, but I think I was there for the full run. So I think from the smallest age up until graduation.
Okay, so from around like 6 months old maybe, or?
I think so.
From before you could remember?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were there for the whole period, right? All the way up to, were you 9 years old when you graduated?
Yes, I think so.
And now how old are you?
I am 16 now, turning 17 this year. I'm doing year 12.
And what are you up to these days in terms of schooling and hobbies and stuff?
In school, I'm currently doing English, maths methods, philosophy, and music composition, actually. But last year, I was doing biology and Latin.
Wow, okay, Latin, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did have a read of your essay that you submitted for a recent writing competition. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I'm staring at the trophy right now. It's in my living room. Yes, so it was called the What Matters writing competition, and it's for students around teenage. But I think they accept entries from primary school as well. And the prompt is what matters. And it's about the things that are important to young Australians. And so a lot of people were writing about climate change, like feminism, racism, a lot of issues that were important to them. And I wrote mine, not on any of those issues in particular, but more about community, focusing on the people around me who are important, just as important as the big issues.
Yeah, it was a really well-written piece and very poignant as well.
Thank you.
I think it would resonate to a lot of people. Is there any way that people can check that out, or?
Yes, it's on their website. So it's run by the Whitlam Institute. So I think if you search up Whitlam Institute, What Matters writing competition, I might pop up.
Okay, I'll find it. I'll put a link in the description for anybody that wants to check that out.
Yeah.
But no, really good job. Well done. And a big congratulations from all of us at SHICHIDA.
Thank you.
Do you remember much about your time with SHICHIDA, taking classes and that?
A little. I remember moments. I'll walk into a classroom if I'm, early and my mom's still working. I'll walk in and be like, oh, I remember sitting here.
Yeah. So you kind of see things in the center while your mom's working, and that'll kind of trigger memories from when you were taking classes.
Yeah.
Because you were taking classes before your mom started working with us, right?
Yeah, my mom started working because I did the classes.
Yeah, she told me last week that she realized that she wouldn't stop talking about SHICHIDA, so she thought might as well work for them. Right? Yeah. But from your time in SHICHIDA, is there anything that kind of stands out in your memory? Maybe like a favorite activity or a favorite moment or even a favorite teacher if you have one?
I remember I liked the writing exercises. I'm not sure if you're still doing those, but it was basically just, a sheet of lined paper and you get like a one-word prompt. And I really didn't like doing them until one day. I think the prompt was Earth, and I really liked that prompt. And it made me get into writing, actually.
Excellent. Yes, I guess the exercise you're talking about is called Da Vinci Mind Map. And that's basically an exercise that we use where we do have a single prompt. So in this example, Earth. And then around that prompt, there'll be a series of questions like, what do you think about the Earth? How does the Earth make you feel? What colors can you see in the Earth? And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of getting the kids to think creatively about a singular topic. And then ultimately using those ideas to write a little composition. So you mentioned that you actually didn't like that exercise when you first started it.
Yeah. Yes, it's just something weird with my brain. I won't like something until randomly, like the thing coincides with something I was thinking about already, and I'll be like, an opportunity, and I'll just go for it. And I guess that was Earth, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's probably not all that different from how a lot of kids think as well. Once they are interested in something, it's really hard for them to stop talking about that one thing, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, everything kind of connects to that thing that they're interested in at a point. So, no, that's really cool. And I'm really glad that that exercise got you into writing, because obviously that's a passion that you've continued on to this day, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Outside of the writing exercises, like we do a lot of things at Shichida. So stuff that involves like memory, critical thinking, and math and things like that. Last week, I had a chat with your mum about memory. Do you feel like your time at the Shichida program helped strengthen your memory?
Yeah, I think so. I don't get the opportunity to think about it much because no one really dedicates a lot of time thinking about their memory. Actually, recently, some of my classmates who are doing psychology, they asked around some friends to do an experiment for them. And it was about memory. And I felt very good that I could remember a lot of things they were asking me to.
Okay.
And I think I might have been above average in that one. And I feel really good about it. And I think that's because of Shichida.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not really something that we as adults are kind of like conscious about and always thinking about. I mean, I guess that's one of the goals of Shichida, is to kind of strengthen like that foundation for learning. So in a way, it's good if you don't really notice how good you are until you actually have to do these kinds of tests.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not really thinking about it, right? And I think that's how kids operate as well when they're learning at Shichida. They're not really thinking about how much they're learning or even what they're learning. It's more about, having fun and the experience. And learning is almost like a byproduct of the fun itself.
Yeah. That's kind of what it felt like for me as well. I can remember that much.
Do you have any like fun memories from Shichida?
I remember there would be like a little like presentation about like famous people. I remember like Gandhi and maybe Da Vinci. And some of those random facts have stuck around. And I'm glad, because I don't think I would have known them otherwise.
Yeah. So in the primary program, the kids get to learn about a lot of historical figures like Gandhi and Leonardo da Vinci. So the kids start the primary program when they're either 6 or 7 years old, depending on when they start primary school itself. And then it's a 3-year program. So they study a new historical figure for a period of 4 weeks, and then they move on to another historical figure. So they get to learn a lot of interesting facts about a bunch of interesting people.
Yeah.
Are you very much interested in history, or more on the philosophy side of things?
A little more on the philosophy side. Yeah. Actually, I'd like to get into teaching Latin, which is a bit of a split between history and language.
What makes you interested in teaching Latin?
When I started learning Latin, it was mostly for the scaling, as it is with most students. But throughout the years, as I kept learning, I went, oh, this is actually kind of interesting. I really like this, actually. But once I got out of it, I was like, oh, it's a real shame that I only got really interested in Latin right at the end. And so I would like to get people interested and wanting to learn, like right as they come into the subject.
Yeah, that's great. Like with a lot of things, once you start learning something that you're interested in, you're always like, why didn't I start this earlier?
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like that's a sentiment that a lot of parents that bring their child to Shichida, and even a lot of like people that work at Shichida, it's always this kind of thing of like, oh man, I wish I had this when I was younger, or I wish I was exposed to this earlier. So I guess like one of the good things about the Shichida program is like we expose the kids to so many different things so that, they can kind of find what they're passionate about.
Yeah.
In your case, I guess it happened to be writing, which is really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
If only we taught Latin, then you might have picked up Latin even earlier.
These 5-year-old kids learning how to translate ancient Latin. Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, we do teach a couple of languages in the primary program. We've got,
really?
Yeah, we've got some Mandarin, we've got French and German and Italian and Japanese.
Oh.
So it's pretty like basic phrases, but again, it's more about exposing the kids to this kind of information and influence so that they can kind of pick and choose what they want to focus on. Yeah, we're just kind of giving them the groundworks and giving them the exposure to it, really. But yeah, I'll make a note. I'll tell Xiaoling, add Latin to the curriculum.
Yes, please.
But in your experience now, Jax, as a student that's almost to the point where you're going to university, How do you feel that the Shichida program has kind of helped you in your studies?
For me, it's probably to do with the memory. I find that I don't have too much of a problem remembering things that have been said in class. I don't take notes as much. I mean, so far, it hasn't posed a problem for me. Because
must be nice.
I'm very lucky that just the information seems to stick in my mind a little easier.
Yeah, and I joke, but that is a really valuable skill to have. Just that ability to kind of learn things quickly and pick up information easily. I mean, I wish I had that, but I have to write everything down pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, definitely that must help with study. Pretty much any kind of studying that you do, really, any kind of skill that you want to learn, information absorption will really help with like your ability to pick up the skills.
Yeah.
So like a good memory definitely helps, but also like finding what you're passionate in definitely helps as well. Because, if you're passionate about something, you're more driven to find the answers yourself and improve yourself. And where are you going to go from here? Like, you want to become a teacher of Latin. What's the course direction for that?
Yeah, so I looked into it, and it looks like my main path is going to be a Bachelor of Arts with a classics major. So that's learning mainly Latin, but also ancient Greek and a bit of ancient history as well. And then I'd really love to do like an English minor as well, maybe literature, maybe like linguistics, maybe that side of it. And then after that, a master's in teaching.
Okay, wow, that sounds like a fair bit more studying for you to do.
I mean, I've got some friends who want to go to medical school, so that's a little worse. I'm still counting myself lucky.
But no, it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
Like having goals that are set as high as that. But for yourself, do you ever feel like that it is a lot of work to do this much study?
Not particularly. I mean, obviously, if it's not something that I'm particularly interested in, that's going to be hard. But like, I finished Latin now. I finished it last year, but I still find myself going back. If I see something that's like about Rome or that's like in Latin, I'll still want to like learn about it and read about it.
Okay, so that's kind of that love of learning that Shichida also tries to instill is kind of helping as well, I guess. Like, if you love learning, then it doesn't feel like work, I guess.
Yeah. And English as well. I find myself really enjoying English. Right now, we're writing essays. The topic is protest, but that's really wide. And that's given me the space to write about the stuff I'm interested in. And I feel really driven towards that. I try to do writing outside of school as well. And that also just makes me really happy.
Is it any kind of writing that is public and you'd like to share with our audience, or still early days?
Yeah, early days.
Cool. But I'll look forward to hearing about that in the future and checking it out. But before I let you go, Jax, do you have any advice for our listeners or any kind of parents that are looking for something for their child, or any like younger people listening to this podcast? Anything you'd like to pass on?
Yeah, something that I heard a lot from my parents when they were talking about Shichida to other people is that apparently, I don't remember this, my dad, when I came home from Shichida, he would kind of like ask me what I learned, and I couldn't really tell him anything because Shichida isn't really like a hard facts kind of thing. It's not like a real subject where you're learning pieces of information to take home. It's more about, the exercise and the experience. So I didn't have much to tell him. And that made him really worried that I wasn't like making progress or getting anything helpful from it. But looking back, I can see that it was actually very helpful. It got me like interested in the things I wanted to learn about, which was something you touched on. And then you said it was foundational as well. And so I can see how that foundational knowledge and those experiences would help me now and are helping me now. And so kind of if there's parents that have their children in Shichida right now and they don't see that it's working, it is. Trust me. You might just not be able to get concrete evidence right now. But maybe in like 10 years, you'll see where that experience has come through.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Jax. And thank you for your time today and for taking time out of your school holiday schedule.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, it's great to catch up, and we're looking forward to seeing great things in your future.
Yeah, thank you.
But remember, everybody, your baby is learning and absorbing information from day one, so it's never too early to start supporting their learning. The SHICHIDA program is a weekly 50-minute learning program using fun brain-boosting techniques for children aged 0 to 9. Each class accelerates your child's development by providing the vital elements for them to thrive and excel. For more information on how the SHICHIDA program has been helping parents and kids get an early start in education, visit www.shichida.com.au. You can enter the coupon code FUN50 to receive a 50% discount on your first lesson. Alternatively, you can follow us on Instagram at SHICHIDA Australia. You can join our Facebook group to be part of the conversation, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to get instant access to a wealth of parenting and early childhood educational videos. This is the last episode for this season of the SHICHIDA Shining Stars podcast, but fear not, we will be back in 2 weeks' time with a brand new season. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you again, Jacqueline, for joining us. Until next time, bye-bye.